Hey everyone, Sam again. I had gotten a lot more feedback than I thought I was going to get regarding reviews on it and everything. I've only had it for a day, about 24 hours, right? So I can't give you the best review, but I can give you hopefully what I've seen so far in the last hours that I've used it. So I know a lot of the questions at first were regarding, some people had some questions regarding the MacBook versus the keys, the key press, just the way it feels and everything. So coming from a MacBook, right, you have a very clickety sound on your keyboard when it happens, but if anybody has the latest gen of MacBook 15-inch that came out, you'll know that the keys on it are actually terrible. That was actually one of the things. It actually got a lot of negative reviews because they changed the way the keys sit on the keyboard, and they're a little bit lower. There's not enough space between them, and you end up fat fingering a lot of stuff. So key presses versus both of them, right, is keys on here much evenly spaced, much more evenly spaced than what the Mac is. Even, I mean, from the eye you can tell it's a little bigger, but just the feeling of it is a lot different, and I actually really like the, right, you can tell the difference between the clicks. It's quieter, and the keys have a more tactile feel that when you press a key you know what's happening, right? So let's get into these screens real quick. I wanted to look at, if you look at these screens, hopefully you'll be able to see in here that you have a ton of reflection on these MacBooks. I'm really surprised that because this MacBook's only about a year and a half old, I want to say, maybe two, but the screens on them are super reflective, and it's really annoying, especially when you're I drove cross country for the holidays back to Arizona, and my wife drove for a little bit, and I tried to use my computer in the car, and I couldn't see the screen, right? Even at max brightness, it's hard to do. Unlike this one, if you notice the screen here, you'll see that the screen is extremely non-reflective. The matte finish on it is amazing, actually. Like, I can actually see the entire screen from this angle, which on my MacBook that wouldn't be possible. So the screen gets an amazing score from me. I work on computers all day, right? So I look at computer screens all day, and this is a very nice screen to look at compared to what else is out there. So I can do that. The one thing that I do want to say I kind of didn't like about this was that I was expecting, for some reason, I don't know why, I think I just looked at too many laptops, that I thought the screen was going to go all the way back, but it doesn't. It goes to about right here, right? So I would have liked if it would have laid flat. I know that the MacBook doesn't do this either, but if you actually, it goes a little bit farther back. But I don't know. I know the Asus Zephyrus, I think, is the name of it. It has the feature where you can lay it completely flat, which is pretty cool. I really like that. But back to just kind of the aesthetics of the laptop. Really cool that the backlight on this is a light up, and you can customize it in there. Once again, that's why I have an elastic sticker over the MacBook, because newest ones, they got rid of the backlit logo. I don't know why. I think it's a cool feature. So we'll move to the bottom. It's not flat, and that could be kind of annoying, especially if you use it on your lap a lot. I don't know, but I feel like these would kind of maybe dig into you. I'm not a big, I don't use it on my lap. If I do, if it bothered me that much, I'd put a book under it or something. But when you come from something that's completely flat compared to something that has, a quarter, maybe an 1/8 inch raised bottom, rubber, I think they're rubber, they're definitely not metal, but yeah, it's like a rubber footing, which is both good and bad, right? It's gonna decrease the amount of heat that you'll feel in your legs when you're doing things, so that's good. So if we go ahead and we can look at the ports on it. Hopefully you guys will be able to see that. If not, I'll try to get some closer shots and kind of like splice them into the video. I know people really want to see this, so that's why I haven't really been able to edit that much. I've just been, you know, doing as rough cut as I can to get the videos out there so that you guys can make an educated decision on if you're going to buy it or not. As for the ports though, they are, I want to say that one of them is not they're not all USB 3.0. I think one of them is a 2.1. I don't know why it sticks in my mind though. I think I read it on the website. So from there, somebody was asking me today if at my work, because they know I got one, was can you replace can you upgrade the RAM, and from what it says on the website, it says that because it only comes with a 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD, that it can take up to a 2 terabyte, and that the RAM can be expanded up to 32 gigs. They don't offer that though, so that's kind of weird. They don't even offer that option of a 1 terabyte drive or a 2 terabyte drive. I don't think they offer a 32 gig one that comes with 32 gigs of RAM either, so that's kind of weird. But they say it is compatible with it, so whether or not it's as easy as just taking off this back lid, there's a few star screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them, and it looks like it pulls off, so even though it has a unibody appearance to it, the back seems like it would come off pretty easily. I don't think they do anything crazy on it from what it looks like, but I'm not going to open it right now. Thing is plenty of fast for me, but if I do upgrade it, I will make sure to upload a video of it. So going back to, I know there was a question regarding battery life. I can't give you an accurate estimate of battery life because I don't think I have a wide enough usage time with it. I did last night make sure after I did the initial unboxing I had charged it to full, and then I played on it. I was playing Roblox with my kids, and I played for probably about 2.5 hours, I want to say, and then I used it for another 3.5, or for another hour, so about 3.5, 4-ish, and it was at about 40%. So I had it set on my settings to kick into that low power mode at 40%. So I was really surprised with playing Roblox for the 2.5 hours or so that I did, that it battery life seemed pretty good. It's not really a graphics intense game, so you can't really tell, right? But I'm saying, I would think that, don't quote me, but with moderate usage and a full charge, you'll probably get 5 to 6 hours is what it would look like. I want to say that you would, under gaming mode, like if you were to play like an intense game, you'll probably only get like an hour and a half, and that might even be pushing it depending on what you're playing. But just normal usage, even like watching a video or a movie or something, you'll probably get 5-6 hours, something like that, from what it would look like if you took like it down to 0 brightness, turned off all the lights on it, including the back logo light and the keyboard light. You might be able to push 7 hours out of it, but you're not going to get anything. That's the reason I always had a MacBook to begin with, was the battery life on MacBooks. It's crazy compared to what other ones can do. I've heard the Surface has pretty good battery life, but Surface isn't my thing. So as for feel, this is the closest laptop you're going to get to the feel of a MacBook in build quality. It is extremely well built. It's solid, maybe a little, it's a little heavier than what I would expect, but it's definitely solid. I've had a lot of like Asus, Republic of Gamers computers. I've had a lot of Samsungs, Dells, all the laptops that are all plasticky and everything. They just don't feel like a premium product. The product for for the way it is, it's a very well designed laptop, and they knew what they were doing with that. So I'm trying to make sure I touch on everything. I know people wanted to do another benchmark. The benchmarks I loaded up, I'm just going to get into that right now. I would benchmark it again right now, but I don't feel that the results that I'm getting and the results that you're seeing are accurate, and that has to do with the drivers that are on it. I went to the NVIDIA website last night, and I tried to download the most recent 2080 RTX 2080 Max-Q drivers. Well, they didn't have any. They only had the regular 2080 drivers, so I wasn't sure if maybe they were just bundling them all together under the 2080 family, and that when you install that it would do the right driver. But actually, when I ran the installer, it says that it didn't even recognize the card. So whatever OEM wizardry NVIDIA was doing probably gave Razer, I would guess, a pre-release driver that was used to ship with this. I know when I turned it on this morning, my Synapse, Razer Synapse program on there said there was an update available already. So it looked like they might have pushed some newer software to it. Whether or not they came with the driver, I don't know. I had to go to work right away. So I don't want to do a benchmark because I don't think I'm going to get any other results other than the ones I got this morning, and I had uploaded those. You can see those on my channel. It's just, I don't think it's worth it right now until they come out with the actual official NVIDIA driver and not some OEM shipped driver that it came with, which actually I will go to it right now just to make sure that we're seeing this correctly. I'm going to check for updates on the Razer Synapse. It's fully updated. Side note, it's kind of funny. It's kind of off topic, but it has to do with the Synapse software. There's an option to install the Razer SoftMiner. My background is cybersecurity, so I do a lot of vulnerability identifications, risk management, things like that for companies. So I would tell you right now that the Razer SoftMiner, you might want to look into that before you install that on your computer. Just nowadays, with there's a lot of things happening with the websites regarding with crypto miners on websites being put into the JavaScript and running on your pages without you knowing, things like that. At least they were nice enough to tell you that they have this SoftMiner stuff, and there is some pretty good rewards. I was actually looking at it today. There's some decent rewards that you can get. So, but they tell you it's not a cryptocurrency. So this is just me speaking on my own behalf, but I would be guessing that what they're doing is the SoftMiner is going to be connecting to their botnet pretty much. It's going to be doing the hash calculations for whatever cryptocurrency they're actually using to do, where they're going to be making money off of, and then they're giving you kind of like royalties for being able to use your compute power, which it's not that it's a good or bad thing. It's just that I don't think that it's very clear I don't want people to download this and be like, well, I'm doing it because I can get free rewards for this. There's a reason why that they're doing this, why they give you the royalties or the silver, the Razer Silver as they call it, for letting this mine, and that's because they're using distributed computing to calculate whatever cryptocurrency they're actually running to back things with. So you might want to look into it before you install it. That's just my professional opinion on that. Like I said, I'm not going to knock it because I don't know enough about Razer, and I don't know the companies behind Razer, if it's owned by anybody, or what all the stuff, or what you need to watch out for. But it's something that kind of raises a red flag, and especially that it's running any time that you're away from your computer, or that you are I forget how they There's one that runs when you're idle, so I think it will run even in the background when you're just not gaming, which is even like your battery life. Who knows if it's doing hash calculations in the background on your GPU that, yeah, I don't know. Just before you install it, make sure you read through everything. That's just, like I said, that's more my professional opinion, looking out for people, because it's kind of weird. At least they're nice enough, though, to not just install it into their software and do it without telling you. So, yeah, I guess you can look at the bright side of that. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and cut this review short. Hopefully I answered enough of your questions. I will try to get some very close-up shots, high-def shots, so that you guys can see, you know, the build quality a little better, but I don't think that those pictures are going to be any better than what you're going to see on their website. It looks pretty much, the pictures are pictures, right? So this was just what I thought about the computer. From what I've used so far, recap: battery life, good, impressive actually for being a 2080 and as long as I had it on battery life for. Charging speed for it, good. It was, it charged back up to full. When I pulled it out of the box last night, I think it was at like 60%, and then it took about 30-40 minutes and it was back up to full. So, you know, charging speeds is good. Wi-Fi so far, I did a speed test yesterday and I was pulling close to 500, I think, when I did it, 500 megabits, and that's pretty much what I would get on my MacBook anyway. So Wi-Fi card's good on it. Keyboard feel amazing compared to what they screwed that MacBook up with, the new models with the keys. Screen, one of the best I've seen on a laptop, and that's, like I said, it's not just, but I look at screens all day. I know what a good screen looks like, and this is a very high quality screen that they put in there. Yeah, I'm disappointed with the drivers that were shipped with it. I understand that if they're trying to get a new device out, that they're going to be using probably pre-release drivers. I feel though that when they're doing that, they should have released it with at least drivers that are recognized by most of the benchmarking software, because the benchmarking software, for some reason, all of it doesn't even recognize what the card is, which is weird because when it's running it says RTX 2080, but then at the end when it comes up and it says, you know, here's the summary of your card, it says unknown, or it'll say like Intel, or not Intel, it'll say Razer graphics, which is weird. So it's probably quite skewed, the results that you were seeing in those benchmarks earlier. But we'll know for sure in a couple of days, as soon as maybe like an official driver update comes out from NVIDIA, or Razer pushes maybe another OEM version of their drivers. I will go ahead and update you guys. I will go ahead and hopefully make another video of the benchmarks, and you guys will see it. Not only that, I'll try within a week or so to give you guys another update on the review, or on the laptop, and another like week-long review. That way I have a little bit more time with it. And yeah, so I hope you guys all enjoyed me talking about the computer. Like I said, I mean, the pictures of it are online on the website, so I don't know if it's really worth me taking separate pictures. But the keys, good, very good. Screen, very good. To me, those are the two things that you need to make a computer want to use a computer, is a good screen and a good keyboard, and both of those are good. Mouse pad or trackpad, I don't want to blame it on them. Like, I don't want to say that their trackpad is bad because of design or anything. It's not. It's actually fairly similar to the one that's on a MacBook, but Windows itself doesn't deal with trackpads the way Mac OS does, and Mac OS is built for their trackpad support, and eventually I think Windows will get there, and they're trying to, you know, you can like 3-finger click to do like Cortana searches or whatever, a few other things, multitasking. Actually, yeah, so that's kind of cool. They do that. Like, you can do the 4-finger slide up to see like all your stuff. You can change desktops. I don't have any extra ones, but I don't even know about going up because I've never used multi-desktop support on Windows. So, but yeah, So I hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and hopefully you liked the video. If not, let me know, if there's any questions that I didn't answer. Oh, let me get to that. The whirling or the noise of the fan. I'm gonna go ahead and, even though this benchmark is not a properly recognizing, I'm gonna go ahead and end this with you being able to hear. I'm gonna move the computer close to the microphone, and you guys can hear, the kick on of the sound of the fan. And I can tell you right now that the fan is, when I was running the full benchmarks this morning, it did kick on, but it was never, I've heard my MacBook make very similar noises when I'm using it under load as well. So there's really, I can't knock the sound, and I've had some noisy laptops, so I can tell you when a sound is unnecessarily loud. And they did really good with whatever fan blades they're using. I know they, on the website, said they were using custom blades in their fans, and they were designed specifically for this unit. So they did well with that, and it's quiet as can be. Like, this whole time I've been sitting here, it's been on, and I haven't heard the fan once. So when you're not gaming on it, it is quiet. Now that I'm kicking on this, though, you should see very shortly. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in too, just to make sure that it starts kicking into the right graphics card. I don't know how they're doing their power management. It's kind of annoying that inside Synapse you can choose different profiles, but the only thing you can do in the profiles is adjust if you want the fans to be auto, or if you want it manual, then you can choose your manual fan speed. But it doesn't let you choose like any sort of processing load or any other sort of efficiency, overclocking, anything like that. I don't know if they're going to add that later, but just a little update on that. So this bench. Okay, so speakers, really good too. Speakers are very good. They're very close to on par with what my MacBook is. I'm gonna go ahead here, and I'm gonna turn down the volume now. I'm gonna turn down the volume so you guys can. I'll move this as close as possible, because I mean the truth is, it's not like you're gonna have your ear up to the phone when it happens, or your ear up to the computer to listen to it, but. So, I mean, that's, right now, I'd say that's about medium. Definitely not the highest you can get. Actually, though, what I'll do is I'm going to close that out. I forgot. I can go into here in the Razer, in the actual Synapse, and adjust the fan manually real quick. That way you guys can hear it. This is 5,300 RPM, the highest possible, and it's getting loud. This is the absolute highest it can go, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty loud. I haven't heard maybe I haven't heard my MacBook, but I think the difference is the MacBook, the way the fan slots are. If you look at it, these fan slots are directly on the bottom of the machine. The MacBook pushes the air out the back, so that it's not the noise isn't as direct on you. So that's lifting that up, but when you're at default auto, I'm gonna go ahead and kick that back on. You can hear a little winding of it when it's dying down. And I'd say, I mean, now the only thing I can hear is my desktop in the background. So yeah. But yeah, as for heat was actually pretty good on it. I played last night and I felt it never got too hot. My MacBook probably actually gets hotter because of the way the fans are in it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.